Hello everybody and welcome to another live stream. In this live stream we will be researching the fight between Amanda Lemos and Miranda Granger together, and this fight is an interesting one for betting, so there's a chance we might find a bet on this one. We just need to dig into it a little bit deeper. And if you are watching this on YouTube after the fact and you want to get involved in these live streams, check out the description below to subscribe to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Diary of a Pro Gambler. And also, if you'd like to receive a notification, a push notification to your mobile phone every time a new live stream goes live, all you need to do is download the Telegram app on your mobile phone and click the link to join our Telegram group in the description below from your mobile phone. You'll automatically join our group, and then every time I go live, I will send a message out. You'll get a push alert to your mobile phone. And also, tomorrow, I will be kicking off my fight research for Bellator 235 and 236, which take place this Friday and this Saturday night. I'll be researching these entire cards on my website on this live stream page, and if you're a VIP or elite member on my website, you will have access to that. So if you want notifications on when that live stream goes live, join the Telegram group. I will be scheduling in an exact time for this as soon as I can kind of work out how long more it's going to take me to finish researching the UFC card this weekend. I've still got 3 or 4 fights still to get through, but I'm almost there now. And of course, once we are done with this Miranda Granger, Amanda Lemos fight, we will be one step closer. So as ever, if you are watching this live stream on Twitch, please jump in with any questions or comments you've got as we go through, and hopefully we'll be able to find a bet on this fight, because I am quite surprised. Actually at how fucking good Amanda Lemos is. Like, she hasn't fought in 2017, so I couldn't remember anything about her, but when I went back and watched her fight against Leslie Smith, I was blown away by how good she is. Her striking is amazing. Like, legit amazing. Like, maybe it's something to do with female fighters that have the first name Amanda, but trust me, this girl is really good, which I didn't expect. Problem is, she gassed out in literally like 3 minutes against Leslie Smith. Just gassed hard. And the focus of this live research session is going to be trying to discover the reason why she may have gassed so fast, trying to work out whether she's likely to gas this weekend against Miranda Granger, and also trying to work out whether she is going to be worth a bet. Because let me tell you something, if this girl shows up with like cardio to just kind of coast along for 15 minutes and keep the fight standing, she's going to murder Miranda Granger, which is interesting because straight from the bat, we should take a look at the betting odds. The reason why I'm so interested in Amanda Lemos is because she's currently quite a decent sized underdog at around, odds of 2.60 territory. And if we look at the odds movement, her odds have been steadily declining ever since they were released. She came out as a 3.5 underdog, which is about plus 250. She's now been bet all the way down to 2.58, which is plus 158. So massive line movement on Lemos. I was sleeping on this fight. I didn't really know that much about Granger or Lemos, so I didn't prioritize it in my research. It's bitten me in the ass, because if I were to research this fight, earlier on in the week, sort of like, oh no, actually it hasn't bit me in the ass. The odds have barely moved from the beginning of this week, when there would have been a decent amount of liquidity to actually bet her in the first place. So don't pay too much attention to this line movement. Obviously people have bet her odds down, but liquidity and the max bet limits would have been so low last week when she was at 3.10, which is plus 210, that you wouldn't have been able to get decent money down anyway. But now you can. Liquidity is built up. You'll be able to get a few grand down on Lemos, no problem, spread across various different betting websites. So there could be some money to be made here, boys. We need to dig into this Lemos and see what's going on, because she looks really good. Really, really good. The first thing that I want to jump into is to try and understand why. Oh, hey Gucci, good to see you, dude. Hey Cats, hey Rashad. And hey Alien. Is it Alien Fungi or Alien Fungi? I don't want to mispronounce your name, but shout out to you anyway, Alien. Ali, one of my VIP members. Shout out to you, dude. Gucci, one of my elite members. Shout out to you too, man. And yeah, boys, we might have a decent little bet on Lemos. Alien saying he doesn't care how I pronounce his name. Let's just call him Alien then. Let's just keep it clean. Call him Alien. But the first question I want to answer is, why did Lemos gas out in 3 minutes against Leslie Smith? Now, obviously, Leslie Smith fights at a high pace. She really pressures her opponents. You know, she forces them to work very hard. That's kind of like what Leslie Smith does. But, I mean, Lemos gassed fast. And she has, you know, gone to a decision here. Got a late finish here. So this would indicate that her cardio is not completely terrible for her to be able to finish her opponent in round 3. We need to jump in though and find out. We really need to find out. So the first reason why she may have gassed out really fast is maybe she took the fight on short notice. So let's have a look at UFC Fight Night 113 and see what kind of notice she had going into that matchup. So here we can see the matchup. So yes, Leslie Smith was originally supposed to fight Lena Landsberg on UFC Fight Night 113. So this would indicate that Amanda Lemos did step up on short notice. So now we need to try and find out how much time she had to prepare for this fight. So we just type into Google. If we usually just type out the actual matchup, they will say, you'll find results in Google basically saying when the fight got announced. Hopefully we're going to be able to find out. Maybe if we do, maybe if we search for Amanda Lemos short notice, would that bring something up? No. No, it won't. Although we will keep this. That's interesting because in the context of this fight, Lemos was originally supposed to be fighting Veronica Macedo. Macedo has dropped out due to an injury, which means Miranda Granger is stepping up on about 1 month's notice. So the fight got announced November 21st. The fight this weekend will take place December 21st, so it's pretty much exactly a month. So Granger having about a month to prepare for this one, but we can't find out how much time Lemos had to prepare for a fight against Leslie Smith. Maybe if we search for Lena Landsberg injured, maybe that will give us a clue. Alright, what about this one? So, June 22nd, Lena Landsberg injured. Leslie Smith now faces Amanda Lemos. So that was June 22nd. So what would be the difference in time between UFC Fight Night 111 and June 22nd? It would be about 3 weeks. So Lemos hasn't taken the fight on super short notice by the look of it. Yeah, 22nd of June. 22nd of June. It appears the news broke on the 22nd of June. 22nd of June, 22nd of June, 22nd of June. And the fight took place on 16th of July. So, not, about 3 weeks notice. Not ideal. Not terrible either. That's a shame, actually, because with how bad Lemos' cardio looked, I was expecting her to be one of these situations where she stepped up on like 3 or 4 weeks notice. The fact that her cardio looked that bad and she had like 3 weeks to prepare, like 3 weeks to a month, that is red flag city. That's not good. And while we're on the topic of red flags, we do have to get into another massive red flag before we go into breaking this fight down from a stylistic point of view. And we can see here that Lemos hasn't fought in 2 years. So last night when I was looking at some of Granger's past fights and Lemos' past fights, I was like, well, why hasn't she fought in the last 2 years? And it turns out that she got a 2-year suspension from USADA for taking some serious steroids. Stanozolol, don't know how to pronounce that. But yeah, Lemos got popped for steroids after losing to Leslie Smith. So not only does she have bad cardio, but she's also coming back from a 2-year layoff. And this will also be the first time, probably in her entire career, where she has competed clean, where she is not on the juice, where performance-enhancing drugs will not be able to enhance her performance. So it'll be very interesting to see how she looks this weekend. However, she's really fucking good, boys. She's very good. Her striking is some of the best in the division. She is that good. It's hard for me to put into words how good Lemos' striking is, but if you go and check out her fight against Leslie Smith on Fight Pass, you will see for yourself. She is a nightmare, and this is a tough stylistic matchup for Granger. Now, another thing that we've got to take into consideration is that this fight is at £125 at flyweight. She fought Leslie Smith at bantamweight, £135. She fought Canturia at £135, £135, £135. £135, and this was scheduled for, it doesn't say. Alright, so anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this fight this weekend against Granger is going to be Lemos' first fight at flyweight. So there's a lot to unpack here. USADA, first cut to flyweight, first fight at flyweight, coming back off a 2-year layoff. But at the same time, she's really good. Really, really good. Really, really good. Oh, and one more thing. I've got to show you this absolute gem. Of course, I put out a video a couple of days ago now. Well, actually, it was yesterday. A video breaking down the fight between Da Un-jung and Mike Rodriguez. And I've got something interesting to show you as a follow-up to that breakdown. Here, Mr. Honky has posted an absolute gem. Take a look at this, boys. Take a look at this. This is Mike Rodriguez being submitted by toehold from literally just 2016. So we were talking in that breakdown video about how bad Rodriguez's takedown defense, how bad his ground game is. And this video shows it. I couldn't show much evidence of it in the other video because obviously all his fights are copyrighted on Fight Pass. But Mr. Honky with this absolute gem, shout out to him. So this is literally 50 seconds into the fight, look. So Rodriguez isn't tired or anything like that. Look how easily Kevin Haley gets a takedown, literally just drags Rodriguez to the ground, and then check this finish out. It's absolutely crazy. Rodriguez rolls for a leg, but his opponent just jumps on a toehold and submits Rodriguez with a toehold, which is absolutely crazy. Like, this guy's takedown offense and ground game is absolutely terrible. I put here, I see a lot of people betting this guy this weekend. They've got bigger balls than me. If you're betting Mike Rodriguez this weekend, good fucking luck. Because if this guy goes to the ground, he is terrible. Absolutely terrible. But yeah, this fight is red flag city. But look, Lemos is the underdog, right? And we don't mind taking on a little bit more risk when we're betting underdogs. We can afford to be a bit looser with our criteria for betting fighters because ultimately the risk-to-reward ratio is better. Or the risk-to-reward ratio isn't necessarily better. The reward is better so that we can take on more risk. So if we have a look at where both these girls are training and fighting at the moment, Miranda Granger, I believe, trains at like a small independent gym. When I've kind of scanned through Granger's Instagram profile, she doesn't appear to train anywhere major. If we can see on her Tapology profile, it says here she trains at Charlie's Combat Club. Here is another, you can see some branding here for Charlie's Combat Club. I don't know any fighters that train there. What I will say about Granger, shout out to you, Granger, because she has great tasting clothes and great tasting cars. So if you just, I've just scanned through Instagram, doing some light research last night, and she's a very, very, very well dressed young lady. Here we can see she is rocking the Gucci hoodie, which does not come cheap. This is probably like a $700 or $800 hoodie. Very, very nice. But you guys know me. I'm a car guy, and I will be pumping some cars out some car content out on this channel in YouTube. I got some big boy car content coming because I am passionate about cars, and I don't like Audis. I really don't like Audis. They're not my cup of tea. I think there are better cars that you can get for your money than to buy an Audi. But Miranda Granger has, in my opinion, bought the best Audi. Like, this is an Audi, pretty much the only Audi that I have genuinely considered buying myself. I have actually come very close to buying one recently. Miranda Granger bought the Audi RS5, which in my opinion, it's the best Audi around at the moment. It's the best looking, but the kind of like the best balance between looks and performance. Obviously, like cars like the RS6 perform better, but in my opinion, the RS5 just looks way nicer. So Miranda Granger has got one hell of a taste in cars. Audi RS5, absolute beast. Thing is like a 4-litre V8 nightmare. Very, very nice, and also very, very good tasting clothes. In fact, if we go back to the beginning, she might actually be rocking like a Moncler or Thom Browne sweater as well. Very, very nice. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make is Granger's only had 7 pro fights, 1 fight in the UFC. She probably hasn't made that much money in her career so far. She probably hasn't been put under the best contract in the UFC. Probably on an entry-level contract like $10,000 to show, $10,000 to win. But what I love about Miranda Granger's Instagram profile is she's already rocking like $700-800 hoodies. She is already driving an RS5. It looked like a brand new RS5 to me. And I mean, a monthly payment on that is even at least you're looking at like $800-900 a month at least, with probably like $5,000 to $9,000 down payment on a car like that. So the thing I like about the fact that Granger's gone out and got an RS5 and she's rocking decent clothes is it shows that she's betting on herself, right? Obviously, she's not earning a lot of money from fighting, but she does seem to be very ambitious in the interviews that I've watched from her. Her Instagram profile seems that she's very ambitious, and to me, this is a good sign, because if you were insecure that you weren't going to be able to stay in the UFC and compete with the best fighters in the world, you wouldn't be buying an Audi RS5. You would obviously trying to be a little bit more frugal with your money. So for me, this is a really positive sign. She's taking her career dead seriously. She's hungry, she's motivated, and there's probably a lot more to come, because there's that old saying that I love from Conor McGregor, where he said he's got an unhealthy obsession with spending money, but it's all good because he's got a healthy obsession with making money. And maybe that is the philosophy that Miranda Granger's rolling with, and I can't fault her, because when you got big car payments to make every month, Amanda Lemos could be in some trouble this weekend, but who knows. In terms of Amanda Lemos, if we look at her Instagram profile, a little bit more difficult to kind of gauge. Not a little bit more difficult to gauge what her training's like, because obviously Granger trains at quite a small gym as well. But Amanda Lemos does train at a gym that's not that well known for producing top level fighters. The only 2 top level fighters that I can think of that came out of the Maraco brothers gym is Ildemar Alcantara, who you can see here, and obviously Uri Alcantara, who is a top 5, top 10 bantamweight for many years in the UFC. And because of her connections to Uri Alcantara, she has done a little bit of training at Jackson's MMA. You can see Holly Holm, Michelle Waterson here, and if we keep scrolling, I'm pretty sure we'll see a picture with her and Uri. There he is. There's the legend himself, Uri Alcantara. In fact, I don't think Uri Alcantara ever fought for a title, which is kind of crazy, because he was kind of like a perennial. Here he is on the right. Oh, he's still training. Is he still fighting? I'm sure he got released by the UFC. Where is he fighting these days? Where is Uri fighting these days? He's still going. No, okay, so he's still fighting in the UFC, man. He's still fighting. Oh, God, I thought this fight was much longer ago. He literally almost ripped Sandhagen's arm off in this fight. Sandhagen showing how tough he was. So yeah, maybe we'll see Alcantara again soon. He certainly seems to be training. So yeah, there you go. She's connected to a top 10 bantamweight. Now, the only final piece of research that I want to do in terms of X factors on this fight is to try and evaluate how much Amanda Lemos is, what am I going to say, health, maybe like health, no, health's not the right word, physicality is not the right word. What I basically want to try and see is how much Amanda Lemos' body has changed between how she looks now, post-USADA, and dropping down to 125 pounds, and how she looked in her last fight. So what we are going to do is we are going to try and find the weigh-ins from this fight here. So if we go to YouTube, and then we'll look at how she weighed in to see if she's lost like a massive amount of muscle mass, that kind of thing, compared to how she looked in her pictures recently. Which we've got. Is it going to load? Do we have to restart it? Let's restart. Let's reload the page. Seems to have glitched out a little bit. Here we go. Excuse me. Should have muted the mic then. Sorry, guys. Very amateur of me. So here we see Lemos now, who looks quite lean. Looks quite lean, to be fair. But in good shape. In good shape. No doubt about it. This was taken like yesterday, 21 hours ago. We can see Michelle Waterson liking the picture there. She must be friends with Lemos. But we want to see how she's looking now. Obviously, it's a little bit difficult to do a direct comparison because her fight against Leslie Smith was at 135 pounds and she's 125 here. But who knows, man? Maybe she's pulling an Aldo on us, right? We thought that Aldo, would look much better, much worse. Sorry, cutting down from featherweight to bantamweight. It turned out his cardio looked better than ever, carrying less weight. So maybe Lemos' cardio will look a lot better, dropping a weight class as well. But we want UFC weigh-ins for Ponzinibbio, Gunnar Nelson. Let's see. So what was it called? Okay, so it was UFC Scotland. Could this be one of these small fight night events? It's going to be difficult to find. That is the question. This might be the one. Yep, I think it is. That was Leslie Smith. So let's take a look. How does Lemos look? She actually looks a little bit softer here, if you look at her abs, her arms, compare it to, how she's looking now with her abs and arms, she actually looks much softer here, which is a sign that her cardio might look a lot better on Saturday night or Saturday morning, wherever you are in the world. This is Uri Alcantara. Difficult to say, actually. She doesn't look that different, does she? Yes, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, boys. I'm not sure. Maybe we're just trying to fucking too much guesswork. I don't know. Anyway, there's baggage, right? There's baggage with Lemos. So let's watch some of her fights. So the first thing we got to do before we go into these fights is actually catch up on the live chat on Twitch. So if you got any questions so far, guys, got anything to say, drop it on Twitch and I will give you a shout out. We'll answer any questions you've got. So Ben Mooney, Ben's another one of my VIP members, man. Shout out to you, mate. Just letting everyone know that Lemos is coming off a 2-year USADA suspension. Alien is saying fighting at flyweight this time could be good or bad. Yep, definitely, man. Could go either way. I don't mind taking on a little bit of extra risk though with these decent sized underdogs. Baz B035 has said, are you going to watch Rico Verhoeven versus Badr Hari this weekend in Glory? No, mate, this weekend is a nightmare for me. I wish I could, but literally from now until like fucking 6 a.m. Sunday morning, I'm going to be sat at this desk working my bollocks off because I'm going to have to spend all day tomorrow, all day Friday researching Bellator 236, the remaining fights on this Korean card, and Bellator 236. So we got Bellator 235, UFC, Bellator 236. So then I'll have to stay up Friday night until 5 a.m. Saturday morning to live bet Bellator. Then there's a 2-hour break before UFC Korea starts at 7 a.m. UK time. Then we'll live bet all the way through from 7 a.m. to about, I would say, probably 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Then we get like a 10-hour break, something like that. Actually, more like an 11-hour break. And then at 2 a.m. Sunday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning at 2 a.m., we've got Bellator 236. So I'm basically not going to get a chance to sleep this weekend. And then Sunday afternoon, we are going to like a family gathering at like a Christmas market, and I'm taking the little man ice skating for the first time. So my weekend is going to be fucking brutal. So I will not have any time to watch Verhoeven and Badr Hari as much as I'd like to. I'll be balls deep in cage fighting, and then balls deep in ice skating and mulled wine and mince pies and Santa Claus and all that shit on Sunday, which I can't wait for. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm really, 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 really hoping that I can find 1 or 2 rock solid bets for this weekend, just to put the cherry on top of the year. I know we've got like Rising, PFL and 1 Bellator after this weekend, but this is like the last big weekend of the year. Hope we can find 1 or 2 rock solid bets, finish the year strong, and then I can just enjoy Christmas, chill out with the family, and then come back ready to fucking get after it and have a huge 2020 in January. So no, that was a really long way of answering your question. Sorry it took me so long to get there, dude. You guys know me. Once I start talking, I can't shut up. And then we have got another question from D Smith, also saying car insurance on a car like that is $300-400 a month. Yes, you are right, dude. It wouldn't be in the UK. It wouldn't. It would probably, I reckon, would probably cost about at her age, if she's got like no claims and stuff. Probably costs about £100 to insure a car like that in the UK. £100 a month, which is probably like $130, I think. So it wouldn't cost $300-400 in the UK. But obviously it's 4-litre V8, so you're looking at £50 tax a month. You're looking at £120 insurance. It probably comes with a warranty, probably comes with servicing, all that kinds of stuff, so maintenance wouldn't cost anything. But yeah, those cars are no picnic to run, man. And obviously fuel economy on a fucking 4-litre V8. I think it might even be a 4.4-litre V8. Either that or it's a 3-litre twin turbo, I can't quite remember. But yeah, the fuel consumption, you're probably looking at like 15-20 miles to the gallon max. So she's going to be spending a lot on fuel if she travels a lot, that is for damn sure. So Baz B035 saying usually you can't bet on Glory, but because it's such a big event, they've got odds for the whole card. And Baz B035 is saying that he thinks there's a lot of value. That's really cool, Baz B. Baz B. Let us know, man, where the value is, mate, and who you think we should bet on. That would be pretty cool. D Smith 3427 has said, I don't think women regress as much as when coming off PEDs. With men, there's more of a mental aspect. Their body starts producing estrogen. It becomes a real shit show for them mentally. Good point, D Smith, man. Good point, mate. Good point. That is a good point, actually. Although Ariane Lipsky always bothers me because she was murdering people in KSW. And yeah, she looked completely shit when she got to the UFC, so I'm guessing some PED fuckery there, so you never know, man. Bopham Coach is saying, appreciate all your hard work and Merry Christmas to you and your family. Proud elite member. Bopham Coach, what's your username on my website, man? I don't know let me know what your username is, dude. I don't recognise your username on Twitch, but thank you so much for being an elite member, mate, and let me know what your username is. And Merry Christmas to your family as well, dude. And yeah, we will keep working hard in 2020. We are not slowing down anytime yet. Lupa AU has said, why are you wearing a Santa hat? Because it's the most wonderful time of the year. What kind of question is that? Obviously, it's fucking Christmas, and I fucking love Christmas. I love Christmas, boys. I just love it. I love it. I love everything about Christmas. Gucci Snipers said, it's the festive spirit. Of course it is. Of course it is. He's just finished his last day of work for the year. Oh, yeah. My last day of work will be, well, it will be my last day of work. I probably won't get like a proper last day of work because we've got like a Bellator event towards the end of the month on the 29th of December. We've got a Rising on the 31st. We've got a PFL on the 31st, but no huge UFCs. So like after this Saturday, I'll be able to have a nice break, man. I'll be able to take like a week off, and then even though I'll jump straight back in on Rising, PFL and Bellator on like the 28th, 29th of December, something like that, I will have had a week off over Christmas, and it won't be as much work as researching the UFC. Lupa AU has said, some people don't celebrate Christmas, you know. The hat is very offensive. Well, some people don't like the name Lupa AU. I find you offensive. How about that? Alien, shout out to you, mate. Bop and Coach. Oh, Joe McBride, thanks a lot for being a VIP member, man. I really appreciate it, dude. Lupa AU saying, I'm just jealous. I'm in Australia for Christmas and it's on fire. The UK Christmas is much, much nicer. Yeah, man. Yeah, I hope you're okay though, dude. I hope you're okay, mate. I hope you're not in any danger with those forest fires though, Lupa, man. It sounds bad, you know what I mean? Sounds really bad in Australia, so I hope you're going to stay safe, man. And all your family and everything's cool. And yeah, I've always wondered about the Christmas thing in Australia. I can't imagine what it would be like to be in Australia with the heat. It must be really weird because like Christmas is all about snow and shit. So yeah, pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Alright, let's get into this fight. And we are now going to talk about how Granger and Lemos match up from a stylistic point of view and watch some of Lemos' fights. So obviously we've talked a fucking load about all the X factors in this matchup. We don't need to talk about them anymore. So Granger is primarily a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. So you can see on her record here, lots of submissions, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of her... 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5 of her 6 pro fights have ended with her winning by decision. Wait, that's not right. 5 of her 7 pro fights have ended with her winning by submission. And with this fight coming via punches, I couldn't find this fight online, but I'm guessing that because it's a win by punches, she's actually won by ground and pound, which would indicate that, you know, 6 of her last 7 fights have ended with her doing terrible things to her opponent on the ground. And she is pretty good on the ground. Very slick submissions. Very, very offensive on the ground. She's constantly attacking. But the problem with Granger is that she's got like a really rigid, upright... Unathletics a horrible word. I don't want to use it because she's a talented young fighter. But she's very rigid. She's very stiff. And she's quite long and tall and lanky for the division. She's only 5'7", but for the flyweight division, 5'7" is quite tall. You know, if you think about it, Cyborg's only 5'8", and she fights in the featherweight division. So 5'7" might not sound that tall, but in the flyweight division it is. And we know that a lot of the time when you have fighters who are abnormally tall for their weight class, which Granger is, usually they do tend to be a little bit stiff and a little bit more awkward and tend not to move as well. Of course, there are outliers like guys like John Jones, but then there are also guys that fit the general rule like a Stefan Struve, and Granger certainly fits into that mold. So the downsides to having that body type is that she's quite slow. Her striking defense is very bad because, you know, she's abnormally tall for the division, so she's quite easy to hit. You know, her reflexes aren't quite there. Think kind of like James Vick when he fought at lightweight. You know, abnormally tall, didn't move his head much, quite slow. The reflexes weren't really there. Granger is unfortunately like that, and of course as well, because she's very, very tall, she really struggles to get in deep on her opponent's hips and take them down. She doesn't really have very good wrestling at all. She's very, very good on the ground, but she's not particularly good at getting the fight there. Amanda Lemos is amazing when it comes to striking. One of the best strikers in the flyweight division. There's no doubt about it. Like, I know she's only had one fight in the UFC. I know that she lost within 8 minutes. But I always say it doesn't matter who a fighter has fought. It doesn't matter what their record looks like on paper. You can usually assess how good a fighter is based on the skills they demonstrate in their fights. And Lemos' technique in the Leslie Smith fight was like razor sharp. It was at a level that you very rarely see in women's MMA. She's really fucking good. And if this girl has got any kind of takedown defense, like just minimal, she won't need much, because like I say, Granger doesn't have much offensive wrestling. You know, if she can keep this fight standing and she's got reasonably good cardio, she will absolutely murder Granger. And there's a pretty good chance she'll knock her out as well, because like I say, Granger's so rigid and upright and easy to hit. There's a significant chance that Lemos will be able to land a death shot, because her hands are legitimate. They are serious. And maybe we'll see a bit of that now. Maybe we'll be able to show you a bit of that in these past fights. Although it is worth noting that she only has fought one time in the last 3 years. And there was a 1 year gap between these two fights. So I'm not sure if she's going to look as sharp in the fights that I'm going to play you now as she did in the Leslie Smith fight. But she's fucking legit from what I've seen. And really what we're trying to do in these fights now is assess how her cardio looks, so that we can kind of consider whether or not it's going to be worth taking a gamble on her as a decent sized underdog. We know there are going to be risk factors with her weight cut to flyweight for the first time. We know there are going to be risk factors with her coming back from a suspension for using PEDs. And we know there's going to be a risk factor with her coming back from a 2-year layoff. But I mean, her striking is just levels above Granger. So even with those things going against her, it might still be possible to find value in her as a moderate underdog. But we'll have to see what happens. Flamox has said that Granger's 1.53 on Bet365. You know what, dude? I'm not going to bet Granger. I will say right now that I'm not going to bet Granger, just because if Lemos shows up looking anything like she did against Leslie Smith, with like reasonably good cardio, like average cardio, I just think she murks Granger standing. And I do think Granger's going to have a tough time getting her down, because she hasn't really demonstrated any offensive wrestling in the fights I've watched. So yeah, man, if I won't bet Granger. I'm just ruling that out straight away. This fight footage we're watching now, like, I'm ruling out a bet on Granger based on how good Lemos looked in that first round against Leslie Smith before her cardio fell off a cliff. The goal now of the rest of this live stream is to assess how Lemos' cardio looked in some of her past fights. So let's get into watching her fight against Mayra Cantuaria from Jungle Fight 85. Now, I couldn't find this fight online from Jungle Fight 88. It was a rematch of the majority draw. Was this so I'm just gonna have another quick look for it, just in case it is available online, using some other techniques to find it, because I would really like to watch it, because sometimes you can buy access to these events behind paywalls. So Jungle Fight 88, and I would pay a lot of money to watch this fight if it's available online. Oh, Johnny Walker fought at Jungle Fight 88. Very interesting. Oh, here's another weigh-in for us to watch. Can assess how Lemos looked, although not the best camera. Looking very lean there. Very lean. Looking extremely lean for a 135-pound fight. Is that Lemos? I think it is. Have I got it mixed up? No, this is Lemos. My mistake. Camera's not the best. So yeah, Lemos looking pretty soft there. It's fair to say, guys, if you look at her there, she looks in much better shape in her fight week pictures that were taken yesterday than she does here. So that's encouraging, right? You'd expect her to look better than she did in these Cantuaria fights. But it doesn't look like we're going to be able to watch Jungle Fight 88, you know? Which is a real shame. Is it on Fight TV? Just gotta have a quick drink. Is Jungle Fight on here? No. No, it isn't. Alright, Last Chance Saloon. I'm sure I did this. But another way you can sometimes find hard to find fights is search for nicknames. She doesn't have one. That's a bit annoying. Maybe she goes by the name Rodriguez? Mayra Rodriguez, possibly. Oh, shout out to Ben Mooney. Ben Mooney found the fight for us. The third round. That'll do. Better than nothing. Nice one, Ben. So this means this fight's got to be out there somewhere, right? You'd think this fight's got to be out there somewhere if the third round is published. What's this? Oh, that's the video you've got us. Nice one anyway, Ben Mooney, man. I really appreciate this, dude. Alright. Maybe if we put that in. What's this? Amanda Leo. That's not her. She fought Sarah Frotter. Useless bit of information. Obviously, Lemos' opponent, that is. Alright. Last thing we can try. Change this for an A. Nah, it's not there. Last thing we can do is try Facebook. Sometimes these promotions upload like the full events to their Facebook. It's not looking good, guys. It's not looking good. And again, I'm really sorry that that this live stream's rough. All these live streams are rough, though. It's just me sharing my research with you. So it's not polished. It's not planned. We just do our own thing. We just do our own thing on here. That's why these live streams are a bit rough. So I do apologize. Oh, nice one, Flamox. Cheers, dude. Nice one, mate. Nice one, mate. Hey, Roastar, how you doing, dude? Roastar, I mentioned you in my last video, mate. I didn't mention you by names. I didn't want to get anyone into trouble. But Roastar, you shared a nugget of information with me, mate, about Suman Mokhtarian a while back. Check it out, mate. I talked about you in this video. Some of the stuff you told me about Australian top team a while back. Okay, so Flamox has said, I have a question for you. Are you subscribed to UFC Fight Pass? I've been watching UFC events on streaming sites around 4 years, so I don't know if it's worth it to get all the fights in good quality. Yeah, man, it's definitely worth it. It is definitely worth it. I love UFC Fight Pass. I don't know how much it costs. I think it's definitely less than $10 a month. But if you want to get your money's worth out of Fight Pass, mate, go sign up now and search for. I will give you some heat to check out. Okay, so IVC 7. This is the one. This is the one. When you've got your Fight Pass subscription, search for IVC. Go on there and see these promotions here, IVC. You can watch these like full events. I can't click into them now because if I do, the video will get copyright flagged. But you get like old school Brazilian Vale Tudo on there. Guys like Valid Ishmael, who is now Valid Ishmael is now the manager for Borraquinho. Paulo Costa Borraquinho. So this guy here, Walid Ismail, Brazilian MMA Vale Tudo legend. You got fucking Johnny Eduardo fighting in 1999. Johnny Eduardo from Nova União, who trains alongside Jose Aldo, Raynan Barao, even to this day. Renato Sobral is Johnny Eduardo. Look at a young Johnny Eduardo. I can't zoom in on it because the text covers his face. That's a young Johnny Eduardo. He's fought Aljamain Sterling. He's fought all of them. Vanderlei Silva in IVC. You've got Rafael Cordeiro, the head coach, the owner of King's MMA. There's plenty of his fights on here as well, although I can't find them. If you watch the full events, he'll be there. Milton Bayer. It's fucking entertainment for days, mate. It is entertainment for days. It is disgusting. Oh, there he is, Rafael Cordeiro. Look at this guy, boys. You've probably seen him cornering guys like Maurizio Shogun Rua in Pride, Kelvin Gastelum. Who else? Sabina Mazo, Fabrizio Verdum, Marvin Vittori, the owner of King's MMA. Here he is, man. Mountain, Sergio Mello, the poor man. Another Rafael Cordeiro fight. Boys, there's all kinds of crazy shit on Fight Pass for $10 a month. Just fucking give them your money. And then, of course, don't even get me started on Pride. Don't even get me started. Oh, these are all the... these look like the... Why? Hang on. Okay, wait a minute. Where are the Prideful events? Oh, here we go. Pride bouts, right? There's... Oh, that's a playlist. Oh, we don't want that. We'll get copyright flagged. But yeah, if we... I mean, there's shitloads of Pride content on here, although it is actually quite difficult to find, which is a little bit annoying. So what you're probably better off doing is just searching for, like, top 20 Pride fights of all time and then specifically searching for them. But I will give you a recommendation right now because that's how I roll. If you want to get your $10 Fight Pass subscription money's worth right now, go and watch Vanderlei Silva, the Axe Murderer. I'm getting excited just fucking thinking about it. I want to watch this fight now. Go to Fight Pass and search for Vanderlei Silva versus Rampage Jackson in Pride, and they fought a couple times. Here we go. Go watch this fight. Go watch both their fights. Where's the other one? So one of their fights here, Vanderlei Silva against Rampage Jackson. The other one's got to be here. I can't find it. It's in there somewhere. But anyway, go check it out. Go watch Vanderlei Silva Mark Hunt for a savage fight. Go check it out. Go just Google bad motherfuckers like Gilbert Ivel. Gilbert Ivel was a bad motherfucker. Just go Google motherfuckers like that and have a field day. You will have one hell of a time diving back into the history of MMA. So 100%, man, Fight Pass is worth it. It's a bargain. It's a deal. It's a steal. It's sale of the fucking century. For $10 a month, you can't go wrong. So yeah, man, Fight Pass is definitely worth it, dude. 100%. What else have we got? Ready Player One said ESPN and Wikipedia have this fight taking place at strawweight for some reason. Are these more or less trustworthy than Tapology? I would say, Tapology rarely get weight classes wrong. The only thing you do see wrong on Tapology is they'll quite often list the fighter's height and reach wrong. But in terms of weight classes, they're usually pretty accurate. So I would stick to Tapology. BazB035 said, what do you think about the Rakic versus Ozdemir fight? Sorry, dude, I haven't researched that fight yet. I need to get on it. Lupa AU has said, live streams are fantastic. Thanks a lot for the kind words, mate. I really appreciate it, man. Alien has said, okay. People just talking about the Ozdemir fight. Lupa has said Australian top team are a joke. If you aren't part of the clique and tap someone, you can expect some very stiff sparring from their mates. I've heard a lot of bad things about them, you know. A lot of bad things about Australian top team. All right, let's go. Let's go. Look, let's go. Let's go. Let's get into... Basby likes his tennis is loads of value on Glory. Tell us who you're betting, dude. Give us a heads up. Let us know what's up. I don't know anything about Glory or kickboxing or the fighters, but sounds like a good event this weekend. So right, let's watch some Amanda Lemos. We are going to be watching the third round of her fight immediately before she got into the UFC against Mayra Cantuaria. So remember that she gassed literally within 2 or 3 minutes against Leslie Smith, and she gets a finish here in round 3. So let's see how fresh she looks in this third round. Where are we? Oh, we haven't. Oh, here it is. So Lemos is in the... I'm not actually sure because of how bad the quality of the camera is. It's kind of difficult for me to tell. I think she's in the pink, but I'm not 100%, you know. Yeah, she's in the pink, I'm pretty sure. And I can tell you right now that her... Wow, okay, that was bizarre. I don't even know what happened. Don't even know what happened there. Oh, she took a front kick to the face. The camera changed angles, which made it hard to see. Craziness. We get a slow-mo from a different angle, maybe. Oh, we're not going to get a different angle. No, it's all the same angle. We get a different angle. Oh, yeah, we get a different angle at the end. Let's take a look. Here we go. Takedown entry. Walks right onto a knee. Okay, well that's a little bit concerning because she looked a hell of a lot more flat-footed in that third round, throwing single shots than she looked against Leslie Smith. So that's a little bit of a red flag. But we will see. We will see. Can't judge it on 30 seconds. Let's watch this other fight now from Jungle Fight 85 against Mayra Cantuaria. Lemos is in the pink again. Basby035 saying Mohamed Jarraya is a good bet. Thanks for the heads up, man. We'll have to have a look at that. So anyone interested in betting Glory this week, check out Mohamed Jarraya. Thanks, dude. So, let's see if Lemos looks as good here in 2016 as she did in 2017 against Leslie Smith. So we get to see a little bit of a clinch work here, which we didn't get to see against Leslie Smith. There you can see a little bit of the striking that I was talking about with Lemos. Notice how fast she threw that right hand counter out there. Now it didn't land, but that's not the kind of hand speed you usually see in the women's flyweight division. She just got that extra little something. Although she's not moving as well as she did against Leslie Smith, but looking very powerful there. Very, very powerful, and vicious ground and pound here. Looking extremely powerful, and does a great job of slipping those shots as well as Cantuaria comes forward. But that's a concern. That is a concern. We'll rewind a second here. We will just rewind a few seconds here. So she obviously exerted a ton of energy there. You know, she manhandled her opponent to the ground when she shot him for a takedown, and she also obviously really inflicted quite a lot of damage from top position and exerted a lot of energy there. And as they get back up to their feet, look at what Lemos does here. So immediately takes a big deep breath and shakes her arms out and kind of bounces around a bit. That is a subtle physical tell that she's tired. And we're only 2 minutes into the fight. So it would appear that maybe her cardio issues run a little bit deeper than just that Leslie Smith fight that she took on short notice. But this is where this is where fighters like Amanda Lemos can become very beatable. So it's clear that she's very good. She's got very, very dangerous hands, very fast, very explosive, very athletic, hits very hard. But it's clear that she doesn't have the cardio to fight at that pace for very long. You know, you think back of all the explosive fighters over the years that like to fight in bursts. You know, Hector Lombard is a really good example. If you enable him to fight in bursts where he can explode for a minute and then, you know, he puts you in a defensive shell and you're too scared to attack him, so you give him like 30 seconds to a minute left to recover before his next burst, well, he's just going to eat you up all night. The way to beat guys like this and fighters like Lemos is once they've done exploding, do not give them a chance to recover. You've got to swarm them. You've got to get all over them. You know, it was a mistake that Ian Heinisch made last week against Omari Akhmedov. Akhmedov has really bad cardio, but he does a great job of exploding with so much force that he puts his opponent into a defensive shell, and then they become reluctant to attack him, which enables him to kind of dictate the pace of the fight and conserve energy. That's what Ian Heinisch did in that first and second round. He didn't make Akhmedov work hard enough. He enabled Akhmedov to dictate the pace, so Akhmedov didn't gas out until 2 minutes before the end of the fight, and by then, Heinisch was already down 2 rounds and needing a finish. The way to beat fighters like this, like Lemos, is as soon as you see them show signs that they're starting to get tired, like Lemos did there, where she kind of bounces around, shakes her arms out, takes a deep breath, you get all over them. You just get in their face, tie them up in the clinch, force them to defend takedowns, and you try and force them to engage. And it doesn't matter if you don't get the takedown. It doesn't matter if you can control them in the clinch, and it doesn't matter if you land anything. The goal should be to make them work, because the more you make them work early in a fight, the more it will pay off later on in the fight when they start to really get tired. But the mistake that a lot of people make is, you know, after this exchange where, you know, we've seen Lemos, you know, exert tons of energy, really, but she did land some very, very big shots on the ground with ground and pound. A lot of the time, her opponents can give fighters like this too much respect, and they can kind of ease off the gas and just get into a staring contest, and that gives fighters like Lemos a lot of time to recover and catch their breath again. But here we can see her hands are very, very good. Very, very good hands indeed. Very, very fast hands. Very explosive. But it's looking like she might be one of these fighters that fights in bursts, because she doesn't have the cardio to fight at a high pace for 3 rounds. So she's just going to kind of explode, take 30 seconds off. Explode, take 30 seconds off. And this fight's really going to come down to what Granger does in the moments where Lemos is looking to recover. Because if we take a look at the stats from the last fight, if we find Granger here and we go to her last fight against Hannah Goldie, you can see that Granger threw 61 strikes in the fight, which on average is obviously around about 20 strikes per round. And we can see here that, like clockwork, Granger landed about 20 strikes per round, which is okay, but it's not like a massive amount of strikes. And like I say, she didn't attempt any takedowns. Her striking is not that effective because defensively she's quite pushed, doesn't have too much power in her hands. So it's, you know, if you look at a high output for this weight class, you're looking at about 25 to 30 strikes landed per round. So 20 strikes isn't bad, but it's not like she's going to be pushing a crazy pace, because, you know, how many strikes is this per minute? I mean, we can do a calculation. So there's 5 minutes in a round. There's 60 seconds in a minute. So 60 times 5 is 300. So there's 300 seconds in a round. If we divide that by an average of 20 strikes per round, that averages 15 strikes. Don't even know what I've calculated here. That average is 15 strikes. Wait a minute. So if she's averaging 20 strikes per round. The easiest way to calculate that is 20 divided by 5, because it's 5 minutes in a round. Okay, so that's shit, actually. So if you look at this, sorry, someone just posted something interesting. Thanks a lot, Buzzsaw. But if you look at this, the calculation that we've just done, a much simpler way of doing it than the first time I tried. This shows us that on average, Granger lands about 4 strikes per minute, which isn't very much at all. It really isn't very much. So it's not like Lemos is going to be forced to work that hard if Granger's only firing off or landing 4 strikes per round. Also, what I would say is Hannah Goldie didn't pose that much of a threat to Granger. She kind of stood right in front of her, wasn't that dynamic, didn't really throw that many strikes herself, didn't really cause Granger too much of a problem, didn't expose Granger's bad striking defense that much. Whereas when we look at Lemos, she is going to be firing off nuclear bombs at Granger, so that might make it even more difficult for Granger to open up and land these 20 strikes. But Buzzsaw Bergen has just posted something for us in the live chat on Twitch. So it's an interview with Granger. So let's watch this together, guys. Thanks a lot, Buzzsaw Bergen, for sharing this with us, mate. So let's watch this together. It's only 2 minutes long, and see what Granger says.
Excited, and I know there's some controversy around my opponent about she's been banned for a couple years, but I'm just ready to prove that an all natural athlete is the way to be and the way to go. So I'm excited. So she's been banned for 2 years. After her first fight in the UFC, she got popped for steroids. I take it as an advantage. I said this a couple days ago in an interview that I feel like if you have to use steroids or if you have to use a substance like that to make yourself better, then you've already lost because you don't believe in yourself. So it's just my thoughts. She looks tough.
Tell that to Vitor Belfort.
I've only seen her fight at 135, so I think it's going to be... I've been fighting at 115 now for almost 3 years, and I've adjusted to this weight class, and I think I do very well in this weight class, and it'll be her first time. So, I think she'll be in for a surprise when I'm across from her. I can kind of adapt to any style. I feel like I'm pretty good everywhere. I haven't really gotten the chance to show what I'm fully capable of. With my Hannah Goldie fight, everyone said she can't strike, and then I stood up the whole time and beat her that way. So I feel like I'll go wherever the fight goes, and I'm pretty well rounded. So I think it's going to be a little bit more intense. Hannah kind of ran away from me the whole time, and I feel like Amanda's going to come in and bring the fight to me, which I actually love. So I'm hoping for that. I typically like a longer fight camp, but like I said, I've been staying in the gym. I've been staying ready. I'm not used to really making 115 in this short amount of time, but since I have been...
Whoa. Buzzsaw Bergen, shout out to you, my G. Did you just hear what Goldie said? Not Goldie. Did you just hear what Granger said? Wait a minute.
In the gym, I've been staying ready. I'm not used to really making 115 in this short amount of time, but since I have...
This fight at strawweight. Says flyweight there. Granger fought a flyweight there. Strawweight there, strawweight there, strawweight there, strawweight there. Lemos, bantamweight, 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 bantamweight. Why is this fight at strawweight? And why a Tapology trying to ruin my life? Straight from the horse's mouth, man. That's a big detail that I didn't know. And without fucking Buzzsaw Bergen dropping knowledge, Bergen, shout out to you, dude. Shout out to you, my G, because without you dropping this link in, I would have just assumed this fight was a flyweight. This changes everything, because Lemos has never fought at flyweight, let alone strawweight. That's a huge cut. She's dropping 2 weight classes for the first time. Hasn't fought in 2 years, and she's travelling out to Korea. Like, the chances of this girl missing weight are high. And obviously, Granger has fought at strawweight for the majority of her career. So where she looked slow and stiff in her UFC debut against Hannah Goldie, maybe she'll look better at strawweight. This fight turns into a bit of a shit show now, actually. It's got to be at strawweight. So Ready Player One is saying that it's listed as strawweight on Wikipedia and ESPN. So what an absolute shit show this turned out to be. So there's me banging on about flyweight for the whole video, and it turns out why isn't, there we go, that's the one we want. It turns out that this fight is a strawweight. Wow. Fuck you, Tapology. Fuck you, man. They're trying to fuck with the money, boys. They're trying to fuck with the money. You know what, though? Do you know what is crazy? I said that Granger was abnormally big for the division, in the flyweight division, and that makes her really stiff and slow. Very good chance she looks even more stiff and even more slow at strawweight, because 5'7" is huge for a strawweight. Like, 5'7" is really fucking tall. Really tall for a strawweight. Like, tall. Like, the average strawweight is going to be between 5'2" and 5'4". So 5'7", she's going to tower above everyone at strawweight. Like I said, Cyborg's only 5'8". We look at no, that's her ex-husband. So it's going to be Justine or Christine in it. Christine Cyborg Santos. Justino. She's got so many names, I never know what they call her. This is let's see, Tapology. Yeah, Cyborg's only 5'8". So for the strawweight division, Granger at 5'7" is going to be absolutely enormous. In the massive reach. I mean, 3 inches not. I mean, she's going to be a lot bigger than Lemos, which is ironic because Granger has fought at strawweight her whole career, pretty much, aside from her UFC debut, and Lemos has fought at bantamweight her whole career, which is kind of crazy. Madness. But yeah, thanks a lot, Bergen, for dropping knowledge, mate. Let's carry on playing this. Only like 30 seconds left or something.
I've been, staying up on my diet and staying up in my training. It shouldn't be too much more difficult than it usually is for me. I actually started Taekwondo when I was like 4 years old. I got my black belt when I was 12. I actually have my same coach today, Charles Pearson. He coached me when I was 4, and he's coaching me today. So, martial arts has been in my family forever. So just something that's in my blood. My whole family, my brother, my sister, my mom, my dad, my husband, they're all super supportive. And, they try to get like front row tickets to every single fight so that when I look out in the cage, they're all right there. So it means the world to me that they've been supportive. I know that it's a weird.
All right. So that's interesting because, mate, honestly, Buzzsaw Bergen, man, shout out to you. You've dropped major knowledge with that interview. So not only do we now know the fight's a strawweight, which is why these live streams are super rough, right, boys? They are fucking rough as hell. And we're literally just discovering things on the fly together, right? But also, like, Granger dropped knowledge there that she's actually got a base in striking. She said that, she's been doing Taekwondo since she was a very young girl. And that's interesting because from her past fights, I assumed that she had a base in BJJ. But actually, it looks like she's got a base in striking, which could be terrible for her. Because if she does actively want to keep this fight standing, I think she's going to get murdered. But anyway, let's carry on. Let's carry on watching some footage of... look at that. Look at how much power she throws into this head kick, man. Look at this power from Amanda Lemos here. Watch this head kick. Huge combination, big head kick. She follows up with another head kick here. Look at this. Boom! Big combinations. Vanderlei Silva style left and right hooks. And a very nice sprawl as well, anticipating that takedown coming. How does this fight end up being a draw? Because at the moment, Lemos is laying the smackdown on Mayra's candy ass. How does this fight end up being a draw? What could possibly happen in round 2 or 3 for Lemos to draw this fight? She's got to gas out majorly, right? That's the only explanation. She's got to gas out majorly and lose the second and third rounds. I'm guessing the judges are going to have this as a 10-8, which then if Mayra wins the second and third. But this girl's got serious power, right? Imagine, if you want to think about how Granger looks, if you've never seen her fight, visualize, Stefan Struve, right? Abnormally tall for the division. Granger's kind of got that same rigid posture. Very easy to hit. Chin up high and exposed. Hands down low. She is going to be a sitting duck to Lemos' power strikes. But Lemos is sprinting in this fight. She's absolutely sprinting. And she's fighting a bantamweight, What will this 20-pound cut do to her career? Do to her cardio? Maybe it'll make her a lot better, though. Maybe she's 135 pounds because she's not dieting properly. She's not taking her career that seriously. Maybe she will pull a Jose Aldo and look absolutely phenomenal at 135 pounds. I'm very intrigued by this fight, and I'm very intrigued by how Amanda Lemos looks this weekend. Very nice head kick. Just technical. Fast hands. Big power. Good takedown. Well, you can't say good takedown offense, but you can see that she sees the takedown entries coming, and she understands the importance of clearing her legs. She looks like a very, very big unit, an athletic unit. That's going to be a difficult task for girls to deal with. But she gave up a very weak takedown and gave up her back there. That is red flag city. That is not good. Although Granger, not much for a grappler, and maybe Lemos did get a bit complacent there at the end of the round. Buzzsaw Bergen is asking if we've already checked her Instagram to see what her weight's looking like. We have, but I can't really... I didn't really get much from it. Let me know what you think, guys. So obviously these are her fight week pictures here. They were taken yesterday, 21 hours ago. And in terms of her training, and what do we think, boys? Here she is. Here she is here. What do we think, man? What do we think? Dunno. Tough to say. How long ago was this? Oh, this was fucking 2 years ago. Fuck all that noise. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Don't know what we can learn from that. Alright, into the second round. Now, let's see how Lemos' cardio looks, because that looked like a big round for her in round 1. I wouldn't have said it was a 10-8. So I need to know how this fight ends up in a draw. Obviously, the easy solution would be, Lemos won round 1 at 10-8, and then Mayra wins round 2 and 3. That would result in the fight being a draw. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Lemos' takedown defense certainly a little bit sketchy. Complicated. Her output has dropped a little bit in this first minute of round 2. But she's just trying to catch her breath, right? I know she had a minute in between rounds to catch her breath, but she exerted a lot of energy in that first round. And she's a burst fighter, right? She's going to explode, put her foot down on the gas, and ease off the accelerator and hope that her attacks have bought her enough time to spend 30 seconds to a minute catching her breath. And then she'll explode again, and she'll rinse, repeat that, throughout the entire fight. That's going to be what she brings to the table. But her output has dropped off a cliff here, really. I mean, we're a minute and a half into round 2. Hasn't really landed anything so far in this round. I mean, she's moving okay. There's nothing wrong with her movement as such, although a little bit of laboured movement there. Nothing wrong with her movement really, though. But just her output has definitely dropped in this round. But Lemos looks good, man. Lemos is a bit of a nightmare. Very, very nice striking. Her opponent going for a trip takedown here, though. Going for the Paige Van Zandt style throw. Lemos not having any of it. Nice body kick. And you can see how strong she is. The way she just whips Mayra around. She did it in the first round as well. Just tosses Mayra around like she's nothing. Like she's a bag of sand. Hey, Underrated, how you doing, man? Good to see you, mate. But Lemos' output has dropped off a cliff here in round 2. Obviously, we know she's got cardio issues from the Leslie Smith fight. And I wouldn't say she's gassed here, but the fact her output has dropped so much is a sign that she's tired. Oh, is my cardio my camera's fucked up. Does that fix it? Usually this fixes it. Focus on me. Focus on me. My camera's all fucked up, guys. I'm sorry. Is it fixed? It's fixed. Camera is fixed. Sorry about that, boys. Went a bit blurry there. We are back, though. We are back. Oh, nice one, Underrated. Underrated, man. Underrated is saying that we're going to win this weekend. I hope so, dude. I hope we can find some bets. Oh, again, hang on a minute. Let me just answer Underrated. Hope we can find some bets. I said earlier on in the live stream that I really, really, really want to end the year strong with, 1 or 2 really nice wins, but I'm just not finding anything at the moment, mate. And I won't force bets. You guys know me. I won't place bets for the sake of it. I'm just hoping. Yeah, I'm Underrated, mate. I am confident we're going to find some bets on Bellator, Scanning through these fights, there's some names jumping out at me. Obviously, there's loads of big favourites. We might have a couple of potential parlays on our hands this weekend at the very least. 1 or 2 parlays maybe. So some of these names definitely jumping out at me, dude. So yeah, if I can't find anything on UFC, hopefully I'll find something on the old Bellators. Well, I will say I'm halfway through. Yeah, that trip takedown, Red Flag City. This is Red Flag City, this fight. Red Flag City. But yeah, I was watching Do Ho Choi researching his fight against Charles Jourdain just before I jumped on to do this live stream. I'm halfway through it. I'm going to finish it off after I get off this live stream. But man, I forgot how good Do Ho Choi was. Holy fuck balls, that guy is good. He's really, really fucking good. And here, Mayra kind of letting her opponent and Amanda Lemos off the hook here by giving her a lot of space to work back to her feet. Lemos could have exploded back to her feet there, but chose not to take the window of opportunity, which then saw Mayra jump right back into half guard. And we can see the way this fight is playing out, right? Oh, she's been mounted there. I'm pretty sure she gets mounted here. Well, the mount is there all day for Mayra. All she's got to do is slip her right leg out and step over. Lemos' left leg, loosey-goosey. She's going to get mounted if she's not careful. Did she get mounted? I mean, no, she doesn't. Looked like she did. She doesn't. She actually hits a reversal. Well, Mayra fucked up there, really, didn't she? All she had to do was just chill in half guard for another 30 seconds to put her stamp on this round. But for whatever reason, she basically just let Amanda Lemos roll her over, which was really bizarre. But yeah, this fight's turned into Red Flag City, boys. I don't think we need to see any more. I think we've seen enough. I was planning on watching 3 fights with you boys, but I don't think there's any need. Well, actually, let's watch these because they're quick knockouts. If you've got anything you want to say before the end of the live stream, please drop it in the live chat on Twitch and I will get to you before the end of the live stream. But let's just watch these because I think they're big knockouts, so it could be quite entertaining to watch. Oh, it's a guillotine and it's a knockout. Well, let's see these finishes, and while we're watching the finishes, we will go through any questions you guys have got on Twitch. Underrated saying it's best not to force bets. Yeah, man, I never force bets, mate. Never force bets. We got to pass this weekend. We got to pass, but hopefully I'll find something for us. The Axel 702, good to see you, mate. The Axel saying greetings from Vegas. Oh man, you live in Vegas. That's proper cool. I can't wait to go to Vegas, man. One day I'll go there. But for me, I've never been to Vegas because it's a tough place for me to visit. Obviously, I got a kid. He's only 10 years old. We had him when we were really young. Like I had my son when I was way too young. I was only 23 years old. So Vegas, not the type of place you can go on family holidays. So I've never been to Vegas, but I can't wait to go one time when he's like grown up. When he's like 17, 18, maybe me and the wife can slip away for a week. Yeah, Vegas, man, that is cool. Lemos letting her hands go here. We know her striking is legit. But gas tank and takedown defense, not so much. There she looked a little bit disappointed in herself for getting tied up. Oh, she just jumped on a guillotine. Wow, that was a bad fight IQ. Lemos shouldn't have done that. Lemos has made a huge mistake here. 9 times out of 10, when a fighter jumps guard on a guillotine like that, their opponent will just stay patient, slip their head out, defend the position, and wind up on top. And then the fighter that jumped guard on the guillotine ends up in bottom position, which is obviously a terrible position to be in. So Lemos makes a huge mistake. But the fact that the fight was, on a small regional promotion in Brazil means she gets away with it. Why does that say paedophilia? Why does that say paedophilia? Maybe paedophilia in Portuguese means something different to what it means in English. I need to Google that because that is going to drive me crazy. What does that mean in Portuguese? What? P-E-D-O-F-I-L-I-A. What the fuck? So the Portuguese translation for paedophilia is paedophilia in English. So it does actually mean, what the fuck is going on, man? What is going on? I need to do the whole translation. I need to know what this actually says. Because this is crazy. Right, so if we go... I'm going to put this on my other monitor so I can type it up nice and quick. What the fuck? Paedophilia, A-D-R-O-G-A-S-N-O-C-A-U-T-E-N-D-O. Oh my god. This is crazy. Look at the translation. So on the middle of the octagon, or the cage, they've got paedophilia and drugs knocking them out. So they've got, basically, that's a rough translation, obviously, using Google Translate. What this says in the middle of the cage is knocking out drugs and paedophilia. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. I've never seen any organisation or business like publicly talk about stamping out paedophilia. It's kind of crazy. Craziness. Punching paedophilia and drugs in the face. Couldn't agree more. I agree. We should all punch paedophilia and drugs in the face. Ironic that Amanda Lemos is fighting in a promotion that wants to punch drugs in the face while she's taking drugs, punching bitches in the face. How about that? How about that? They want everyone to just punch drugs in the face. Well, I know what I'll do. I'll take drugs and I will punch all the bitches in the face. That's what Amanda Lemos thought. Maybe she got confused. This is another one of her fights. Lemos in the red shorts. Her opponent stood right in front of her throwing down. You can see Lemos' striking's legit though. Fast hands, lots of power, very explosive, very athletic. These girls are throwing down. Oh, it's in the centre of the cage again. These girls, Lemos at least, is taking drugs and punching bitches in the face. She's like, fuck that campaign. Fuck that campaign. I'm not going to punch drugs in the face. I'm going to take drugs and punch bitches in the face. Oh, here she is backing up, taking a deep breath, you know. And this is literally only a minute into the fight. So Lemos' cardio, definitely questionable. But she lands 2 bombs there with a left and right hook. Very, very nice. But you can see every time Lemos explodes, she just takes those big deep breaths and looks very, very tired. Her opponent actually tried to jump on a guillotine there, going for the same strategy Lemos used to make a terrible mistake and get away with it in the last fight that we watched. Now she makes exactly the same mistake. She jumps guard on a guillotine. Now, look, from this position, Deborah Diaz has made a really bad mistake, because at least when Amanda Lemos pulled guard on a guillotine, she controlled her opponent's body from guard. Deborah Diaz hasn't even pulled guard on a guillotine here. She's pulled side control. So she literally has nothing here because Lemos is safe. Oh, there you go. Curse the commentator. Well, actually, it's not. I was backing up what I said. Lemos immediately slips out because from side control, Lemos had absolutely nothing there. So shocking fight IQ from these ladies. And Lemos looking very tired as she stands back up. Does she literally come into every fight with 2 minutes of cardio and just think, well, if I don't knock the bitch out, I'm just going to get really tired and lose a decision? Is that literally Lemos' strategy for every fight? Just to show up with 2 minutes of cardio and just hope she can knock a bitch out? And if she can't, oh well. Oh well. And we will be wrapping this live stream up soon, boys. So if you've got anything to say, bang it in the live chat on Twitch. I will summarise this fight before we close off. I'll talk about how I feel about this fight from a betting perspective. We'll go through Twitch first. Lemos definitely heavy-handed. I'm waiting for this knockout. It's got to be coming. She is landing some big shots on Diaz, despite looking very tired in this round. Oh, she's going to do it again. She's going to jump for a guillotine again. Not this time. Lemos is like, fuck you, bitch. I'm gone. Slips that head out. Looking very tired, though. Lemos looking very tired here. But drops Diaz with a big shot. It's all kinds of madness. Crazy. Bar fights. Punch drugs in the face. And paedophilia. Savage shit. Alright then, boys, let's go through Twitch. Let's see what we got. Underrated has said, you've won me a lot of money, man. Nice one, Underrated. Thanks a lot, dude. That's why I do this, mate. I love helping people, man. And I take a lot of shit online. So when people tell me I've helped them out a lot, it means a lot, dude. So thanks a lot, Underrated. I appreciate you sharing that, dude. So he said, you've won me a lot of money, man. I'm sure a lot of others. I love Holloway, but it happens. I'm riding with you as long as you want to keep up the good work for all of us, man. I love what you're doing. Oh, thanks a lot, Underrated. Yeah, mate, I am not going anywhere. I am definitely not going anywhere. We've had a good profit in 2019. Obviously, we made the bulk of that profit in the first half of the year, but I am just getting ready to have another huge one in 2020, man. I can't wait, and I've already started looking at that UFC 246 card, the Conor McGregor, Donald Cerrone card, and I've already eyed up like what I believe to be one rock solid bet. So literally as soon as this Korean card is out the way, I should be posting a bet to the website for UFC 246, but I don't want to mention it now because liquidity on these fights is going to be really, really low, and if I mention it here, the odds will just get steamed before we get a chance to bet them. So I won't mention it now yet, but I think we might have a very, very good January with some of the bets we got coming up for UFC 246. D Smith 3427 is saying Jourdain. He's talking about the Do Ho Choi versus Jourdain fight. Said Jourdain has horrible takedown defense, but his striking is savage. He's also great at pressuring and doesn't get tired. That's interesting that his striking is savage. I don't know anything about him. I need to watch his fights. But obviously, Do Ho Choi has savage striking as well, so that should be one hell of a fight. Buzzsaw Bergen saying, is this going on YouTube? Yeah, it will be up on YouTube, man. I'll upload it as soon as we get off this live stream. The Axel702 is saying, I'm rooting for Jourdain just because I like his nickname. Do Ho Choi is the much more logical bet. Yeah, Do Ho Choi is amazing, but he is a giant favourite, you know. If Jourdain's as good as D. Smith says he is, maybe Jourdain might be worth a high-risk gamble. Ben Mooney has said, would love to know your thoughts on Alateng versus Benoit. What we'll do, Ben, we'll do a live stream for Alateng versus Benoit. I haven't researched that fight yet, but I'll do a live stream on Twitch for that one tomorrow, dude. So we'll go through that one together. Dirty Sancho is saying Vegas is fine for kids. I take mine all the time. You know what though, dude? I live in the UK, so to get to Vegas is gonna be like an 8 to 10 hour flight. You'd have to go over there for like a week to make the most of it, and there's so many parts of Vegas that you've got to be an adult to see. I don't want to spend all that money and all that time traveling over there when we wouldn't really be able to experience Vegas to the fullest because we've got like a kid with us. So I'd rather just wait and just go to Vegas when we can do it all, experience everything. There's plenty of other places to go in the world, man. And yeah, we'll get to Vegas one day, but at the moment, probably not the best place for us to go because it's so far away. Costs so much money when we've got the little man with us. D. Smith saying, honestly, I think Do Ho Choi's odds are inflated due to Korean fans. Same for Chan Sung Jung. Yeah, man. I haven't researched the Do Ho Choi fight yet, but yeah, I don't know why Korean Zombie is the favourite because we've never seen him defend a takedown, really. Or we have, but not in the last 6 years. So who knows what his takedown defence is like. Dirty Sancho 83 is saying lots of free shots for them to do, then leave them in the room and have some daddy time. Yeah, we could just like get him drunk and chain him to a bed. That would work. That's a good idea, man. Do it hangover style, innit? Come back to the room. He's not there anymore. He's managed to like pick the lock and untie himself. The baby's, well, I'd say the baby's 10 years old. He's gone off on an adventure to like pick up some strippers, and we get back to the room and there's just a tiger in the room. Don't fancy that. Don't fancy it, mate. But who knows, man. Maybe we'll get to Vegas. I doubt I'll be going to Vegas for a long time, though, man. When the little man's like 17, 18, he can look after himself. I'll probably hit it up then. Kamais Ukin is saying the Lemos knockout a TKO line at plus 150 is appealing. Holy shit, are those the odds on the knockout? That is insanity, if true. That is absolute madness. Fucking hell. So Lemos to win by knockout or TKO is 12.50. So there you go, boys. Even if we don't have like a rock solid bet on either Granger or Lemos here, that prop is, I mean, I don't know if the prop's going to win, but that is value all day long because she hits like a truck. Granger's striking defense is bad. And at odds of 12.50, which is plus 150, that's only an implied probability of 80%. So there's value there all day. I love that bet, man. Good shout. So Buzzsaw Bergen is saying that either Lemos is going to win by knockout or TKO or lose a decision. Yeah, I agree with you, man. 100%. What's Granger by decision? 2.40. So you might be able to free roll on this, you know. You might be able to just bet on Granger by decision and then just hedge with Lemos by knockout or TKO. My only concern would be, you know, if Lemos does gas bad and Granger can drag her to the ground, which might not be that hard because her takedown defense looks terrible. You know, Granger might win by submission. But yeah, it's a decent little semi hedge. Everyone's saying the girls got butt implants. Which one? Deborah Diaz. You saying Deborah Diaz got butt implants? Everyone's saying, oh my god. Okay. Everyone's saying Deborah Diaz has got butt implants. Can't not Google that. How do you guys know that? Is she like famous or something? Why am I searching Google Images? That could have... Boys, I was just doing a Google image search for Deborah Diaz implants. That could have got real dark real fast. That's how you get a video flagged on YouTube. Fuck me. Those search results could have been real bad then. How do you boys know that she's got butt implants? I don't... What? How do you know? If I spelled her name right, Deborah Diaz, I have. How do you know? This is purely for science. Oh, I guess you're right. That is a weird bum. That is a very weird shape, you know. I didn't even notice that. Boys, that's how you can tell. That's how you could tell that I'm a professional that is just focused on the fighting and nothing else. I swear to God, I didn't even notice that. But yeah, her butt looks crazy, yo. Everyone's saying she got butt implants. I didn't even notice. I'm like focused on the technique, focused on the striking, focused on the footwork. I'm not looking at bitches' butts. She definitely has something going on there. Those ass cheeks are jingle jangling all over the place. That is crazy. That is crazy. Let's leave this running in the background while yeah, that's crazy. That girl's bum is wobbling everywhere. It literally looks like she's got 2 water balloons shoved in her shorts. That is bizarre. That is the strangest thing I've ever seen. Where did she get those implants done, you know? I mean, I'm guessing she didn't pay full price. You must have got one hell of a discount for her butt to literally look like someone has stuck 2 water balloons down her shorts. That is a crazy look right there. And how can we leave it there, boys? We can't just leave it there. Of course we have to check the Instagram profile. It would be rude not to. We're just being scientific here. We're just investigating. Has she got an Instagram? You think if she's got butt implants, she's bound to have an Instagram. She must have an Instagram. No girl that has ever had butt implants has ever not had an Instagram. So she must. Deborah Diaz must have an Instagram. Surely she has an Instagram. Boys, we're not having much luck here, you know. She got a nickname? She must have an Instagram. You can't have butt implants without having an Instagram. That's what you get butt implants for, right? Maybe sometimes we search for this. We're not having much luck here, boys. We are not having much luck. Oh, have we hit the jackpot? Oh, I thought we had it then, boys. Oh, well. She might be the only girl I've ever seen to get butt implants and not do it for Instagram. So shout out to her. They are definitely not human tissue. Hyzru, we're trying to keep it HYZRU. We're trying to keep it scientific over here. That's the best we can do. Kappa, 13 Kappa saying, Lemos bad cardio, off PEDs, huge weight cut, long layoff, fighting taller opponent, don't like her chances, Granger or pass. I'm the other way. The way I look at it is Granger taking the fight on short notice, bad striking defense, not particularly great at anything, and she's a big favourite. So for me, the better risk to reward ratio is betting Lemos, because chances are she could look a hell of a lot better at strawweight. Her cardio could really improve, because dropping 2 weight classes is a sign she's starting to take her career more seriously and dieting for the first time ever. She hits like a truck. Granger's really easy to hit. And of course, to get any type of decent return, you'd have to commit quite a bit of money to Granger, whereas you could take a small little gamble on Amanda Lemos. You know, if she knocks a bitch out, you know, you get a decent little reward. If not, oh well, those things happen. So, yeah, I'm the other side. I actually think it's Lemos or pass, but that is just me, purely because of how dangerous Lemos looks standing, how easy Granger is to hit. The Axel 702 bringing up a good point though, and saying the only reason she looked so explosive and heavy-handed was because she was juiced. Very good point, mate. She could look totally shit now that she's off the PEDs. Flamox has said, to continue what I was asking, can you watch some UFC events on UFC Fight Pass? I think it's different depending on what country you're in, man. Every country's got different rules for it. Oh, boys, I think it's time to sum up then. That does it for live. I'm not sure about Canada, dude. I don't think you can. I think you can only watch in Canada on ESPN Plus. And yeah, Kamais Ukin saying that Lemos looks in great shape from her recent pictures, so maybe her cardio problems are fixed. Yeah, man. Right, let's summarize. Let us summarize. So where I am on this at the moment, there's just, obviously, it goes without saying, too many red flags for me for Lemos. She looks very, very good, but if she only shows up with cardio for 3 or 4 minutes, obviously, that's a terrible bet, right? On the flip side, she is dropping 2 weight classes, so that is a sign that she's taking her career maybe much more seriously than she ever has before. And if she does show up with cardio for 3 rounds, with how good her striking looks, with how bad Granger's striking defense is, I think Lemos lights Granger up like a Christmas tree and probably knocks her out. Obviously, the cardio is her main concern. The long layoff, 2-year layoff, PEDs coming back from USADA suspension, dropping 2 weight classes, her cardio, they're all 2 big red flags for me to bet this. I wouldn't bet Granger either though, because her striking defense is really bad. Both these girls are primarily strikers. Lemos clearly the better striker, but Lemos also has pretty bad takedown defense, or at least she did in 2016. Remember that, the fights where she had bad takedown defense were back in 2016. So maybe Lemos's takedown defense has improved a hell of a lot since then. Remember, she does train she has done training at Jackson's MMA since 2016. So she might have improved a lot. She also trains it with the Alcantara brothers. So who knows, man? Maybe her takedown defense looks a lot better than it did back then. But yeah, this fight's really difficult for betting for all the red flags I've mentioned, which is a shame, because I was hoping what we would see is a fighter who only gassed out against Leslie Smith because she took it on short notice and she struggled against Smith's pressure. But what I've actually seen is a fighter that does seem to have cardio issues, because she definitely slowed down a lot in the second round of this fight against Mayra. And she also looked really, really tired, even in the first round against Deborah Diaz, when Diaz was pressuring her. So yeah, that is pretty much going to be it for this live stream, boys. Yeah, I'm really sorry we haven't found any bets. Although I am interested to see how Lemos looks at the weigh-ins and how they look at the stare down. I'm probably not going to bet this fight with all these red flags, but I'm dead interested to see how Lemos looks on Saturday night. I think she could be one of those ones to watch. If she can get her cardio sorted, she could be a bit of a nightmare in the strawweight division, because her striking technique's very, very good. And yeah, that's it. I mean, I definitely like the prop though. I think the prop. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? The prop on Lemos to win by knockout or TKO at 12.50. Those odds are ludicrous. So I definitely jump on that, boys. But yeah, that is going to be it for the live stream. I'll be back tomorrow where I'll be live streaming my research for the fight between Haile Alateng and Ryan Benoit. And also, don't forget, if you're a VIP or elite member on my website, I will be live streaming my research for Bellator 235 and Bellator 236. We'll be starting our Bellator research tomorrow, which is Thursday. As soon as I'm done with UFC, I will schedule in the first Bellator research session on this page. So just be ready for it. Remember, join the Telegram group from your mobile to get a push alert when it starts. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to find some decent bets for the rest of the fights that I've got to research on the UFC. And if we don't, hopefully we'll be able to find something on Bellator. But that is it for this live stream, boys. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, everybody, and I'll be back very, very soon. Hope you have a great night. Thanks a lot.